From sea to shining sea. Let's talk about the first Purge. So the first Purge. Wow, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this review. Right off the bat, highly political film. I cannot tell you how saturated this film was with politics, as is expected from a Purge movie, but this one was a bit on the nose, and a bit too on the nose for me. So, as you will come to learn on this channel, we don't usually publicly announce where we land on the political spectrum. But regardless of where you land on the political spectrum, it doesn't really matter to me. But for me, in the film, I think that the politics really got in the way of a lot of the aspects that we like in The Purge. Obviously trying to send a message, and that message was clearly delivered, because they everything was right on the nose. There's no subtlety at all. I mean, I know in the previous Purges, you sort of have subtlety in the politics that they're trying to, the message that they're trying to convey. But in this one, it was very on the nose, and you knew exactly what they were talking about. And in some instances, it really got away. It got in the way of enjoying the film. And we'll get into that when we talk about the carnage and what we expect from a good Purge film. Characters. Absolutely love the characters. The characters were really cool. The characters were really cool. I particularly like Dimitri. I think his name is Dimitri. But he was sort of a main character, and he was the leader of a Staten Island gang. But he just had this sort of, air about him that was really cool. He almost felt Black Panther-ish. The way that T'Challa commands a room. I think he looks a lot, not a lot, but maybe he resembles a little bit Chadwick Boseman, and I really think that had Chadwick not been chosen for the Black Panther, I think that this guy would be a dead ringer for the character, if he could pull off that African accent. He looks amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this dude has the physique. He's got that commanding sort of air around him. He's got it all. He's got the fight choreography skill down. He looks, really good doing all the fight stuff. So I think that he'd be a dead ringer for the Black Panther. But that's beside the point. This guy's really cool, and I really enjoyed his performance. Because you really sort of get to like his character. When you think of someone who's the leader of a gang, or the gangster, you always think that they're cool, but they're not typically a character that you would root for in a film. And this film really blurs the line between if what he's doing is bad, or if he's one of those few exceptions where you're just like, this guy can continue on doing what he does in the town, because at heart this guy has a really good heart. And he protects his own, and that really shined in the film. Shone in the film, especially when it comes to the other two characters, which were the classic, older sister, younger brother dynamic duo that you see in films where there are high stakes. So without spoiling anything, the younger brother, he goes and he gets into trouble, and he hangs out with a crowd that he's not supposed to really be hanging out with, and the protective sister's always there to try and yank him out of it, and it's just one of those things that goes back and forth. But it really had a nice place in this film, especially in a Purge film where, you're constantly trying to survive, and, it really brings together that family aspect and that community aspect, especially, with the different social classes that are portrayed in the film. As far as secondary characters, or sort of the minor characters, they were really enjoyable because they acted as comedic relief. And I thought that that was really refreshing in a Purge film, because normally in the Purge films, there isn't much room for comedic relief. Maybe towards the beginning, or you have that one sassy character who's always wisecracking. But as far as normally in a Purge film, you don't get that much comedic relief. And this film, compared to the other films, was a treasure trove of comedic relief, and that was really fun, and it was all well placed. Not a single bad placed piece of comedic relief in the film. So, yeah, I thought that overall the characters really fit well. I thought that they were strong characters, some of them in their own way, and yeah, I think that it really worked well. As far as the bad characters, most of the bad characters in the film were white supremacists, and this brings us back to that sort of political aspect of the film, where you're just like, is it really? It makes it almost hard to enjoy the carnage that you want to enjoy from a Purge film because of how saturated it is with hate violence and hate groups. So normally when you go see a film, a Purge film, you want to go there and you want to see, some really badass, insane dudes go at it with another group of other badass insane dudes, and they're both hacking away at each other, and they're all being crazy. But with this, you get hateful insane dudes versus the rest of the public, and it's really hard almost to enjoy the violence. And the only violence that I really truly enjoyed in the film was when Dimitri, or if I'm getting his name wrong, the main character, when he is absolutely slaying these people, he's destroying them, like utterly destroying them, and his crew, same thing. But this guy is one badass dude, and I really enjoyed the action and the fights in this film. I thought that was really a high point in the film. When it involved the main characters defeating the hate groups, which was really cool. So character design in the movie. When I talk about character design, I'm going to be mainly talking about the Purgers themselves. And there were a few really cool designs in the film. So, but not used to their fullest extent, because I really, when I came into this film, all the people in the trailer are not used, basically not used at all in this film. I mean, there's that dude with the glowing eyes with the horns and the mask. Dude's not really in the film, so don't expect him. And there's a lot of really cool images that are only parts of the film that you really expected to be big parts of the film. They ended up being really small, and again, they were overshadowed by the hate groups. There was so much of it. I can't stress this enough. So much of it to almost be distasteful. And I understand the message that the movie is trying to put out there. But I think that maybe a lot more subtlety would have done it well. Obviously, those things are implied, especially, I mean, in the previous Purges. Obviously, those things are implied. It's not new. It's not a new idea. But to make it this obvious and to make it that saturated with hate violence, it really hindered the enjoyment of the movie. And but back to the characters. Those characters. The ones that weren't hate group characters looked really cool, and you really wanted to see them purge. Especially that dude with the horns in the trailer. Yeah, I was waiting for that dude, and I know that he's going to make an appearance in this maze. You can't just not use him in this maze, because I think that he'd be a really cool addition. But yeah, it's just one of those things. The contact lenses were a really, really, really cool aspect of this movie, because in the film, because this first purge is an experimental purge, it's sort of the government, or the NFFA, which is the New Founding Fathers of America, this regime that's trying to control everything, yada yada yada. They give away contact lenses in order to record the purgers. So everyone who's signing up for the first experimental purge gets a set of these contact lenses, and you can choose whether or not to put them in. But most people do, and it ends up making them look really freaky. And it's just one of those things that you really like about the purge. I mean, in the previous purges, you've had those sort of glowing masks with the sort of glowing LED wires, and it ended up making people look really cool and really eerie looking. With the use of a lot of LED stuff, and even previous ones, they get the masks. This one meshes those together, except it puts the LED portions of them right to the eyes of the character, and I think that is really cool because it's really intense. It adds to the intensity of those characters. It really makes them seem all that more insane to be participating in the purge, especially the way they act. It's very aggressive and very in your face kind of thing, and that's also one of the aspects that I really want to see in the maze, and I think that it's going to be really cool, especially when you have the black light. That's how I basically guaranteed. That's how they're going to do it. It's going to be a blacklight maze. So that aspect of it is really cool, and I really think it would translate well into the maze, the HHN maze, this year. So yeah, overall, the first purge, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Even though a lot of that heavy political commentary really made it into that movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the action. I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of the character design. I thoroughly enjoyed the story of how the purge came to be, and how it was sort of, shoved into the public. Not really. It was almost not really what the public wanted. There was very minor violence going on, and as you would expect, everyone's very apprehensive. But this being a government that controls and really wants to get those numbers up and started egging on the violence themselves, I really enjoyed the aspect of that, because that's what they do. That's what they do too, to get people to start purging. So that was cool. Character's really cool. So I think overall I'd rate this film an 8 out of 10. Just for sheer enjoyment. I really thought it was a cool, enjoyable horror action flick. But again, the reason it's an 8 out of 10 is because a lot of it was overshadowed. A lot of it was not as subtle as you'd want it to be with the politics, even though marketing for it was pretty on the head. So I guess it was almost expected, but it was very saturated, and it really, for me, hindered the enjoyment of it, because I didn't like seeing that stuff. Even though it may be a sad reality in a lot of it, and it really emulates real world goings on, it just hindered my enjoyment a little bit. But overall, fun movie, fun characters. Good to see comeuppance. Good to see a lot of really a lot of aspects of the film. So yeah, this has been James Young with Nightfreak Asylum. Stay tuned for the first Purge Halloween Horror Night maze announcement video. I know that this one, I'm adding this part to the film because I had the first Purge review, the one that I had filmed before, for some reason wouldn't upload. So this one I'm redoing. And so yeah, look out for the first Purge HHN maze announcement, thoughts, and how I think that the maze is going to run at the event, and then some possible speculation in the future. We'll also be doing a Midsummer Scream vlog on the 29th. We'll be there. Nightfreak Asylum will be there. It'll just be me this time. I know that we should be introducing the other guys who are involved with the channel. We'll be doing that pretty soon. Along the summer, we should be doing a Proctor Valley Road vlog, and that'll be maybe sometime after Midsummer Scream, sadly. I thought it was going to be before, but so on that day, we're going to go to Old Town San Diego, which is, you know, we're here. And we're going to be visiting a couple of the haunted locations there during the day. I think we'll hold a separate episode for that at night, so we can really take a look at some of the creepy locales, there at night. But during the day, we're going to be checking out some of those locations. It's going to be a cool vlog. Two of the other guys who run the channel will probably be there, so stay tuned for that. It might be actually the first time that you get to meet them, which John Cruz and Abdul. Both really cool guys. Abdul actually does the channel art for this channel, so all the logos and the characters, he does them all. He's great. He's very talented. I myself dabble in art a lot. I do a lot of creature design, so you might see that later on in the channel. But you'll definitely see a lot of his stuff. So yeah, and then later that night after Old Town, we will be heading down hopefully to Proctor Valley Road, which if you look it up is one of the more haunted roads here in North America, here in the US of A. And it's just a few minutes from my house. So we'll be heading there at night, and we'll be seeing what we can catch there, if at all. But overall, it should make for a pretty interesting vlog, and I'm really excited for you guys to see it, and for you guys to meet the other cast members. So with that being said, I will end it right there. Thank you for watching. This has been the first Purge movie review by James Young here at Nightfreak Asylum. And if you would do me a huge favor and subscribe, like, comment, share, anything helps. Anything helps. But we're a starting channel, and we're really excited to be out there on YouTube, and we want to achieve success in the YouTube community as best we can, and while also providing you very, very, very good quality content and good reviews and honest opinions on all things horror and macabre and whatnot. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to do all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.